Lesson 7, credit cards. Lesson 7 is important because I'll take you to 1990, right? And the real estate market in New York City after the S&L crisis was tremendously worse than this last recession that we just went through. I mean, it was really bad. At the time, I remember our overhead was about $15,000 a month, and we got to a point where we had no transactions under contract. We just had $15,000 left in the bank. And we looked at each other and said, what the heck do we do now? Do we pay all our bills next month and see what happens, hope something pans out? Do we pay 5,000 of our most important bills for 3 months and hope that that gets us through? And what we discovered was that we both had really good credit. So we went around to every bank in town. We got a $2,000 credit card at this bank, a $4,000 credit card at that bank. And between the two of us, we amassed $60,000 in credit card lines. And we made it through that downturn in 1990 by borrowing against the credit cards. So the lesson there, always maintain good credit. Fast forward to 1991. Who's this guy? This guy is Jack Holler, very successful mortgage broker who owned a mortgage brokerage business out in New Jersey, and also happened to be Paul's stepfather-in-law. So in 1991, we found ourselves at a point where we also had very little money in the bank. The credit card lines were all run up to $60,000, nothing under contract. And we said, wow, we can't get any more credit because we're maxed out. We need a loan. We need money from somebody. So we had a client who we thought liked us very, very much, very, very wealthy guy on the Forbes 400 back in those days. We were worth several $100 million. And so we went into him and said, excuse me, we're having a little bit of a tough time. We need a $75,000 loan. What do you think? And he, put his hand on his chin. He said, you know what? I really like you guys. I tell you what, I'll give you the 75 grand, but I want 50% of the stock in your business. Right? This is like Shark Tank before Shark Tank became Shark Tank. And so, of course, we left dejected, our chins against our chests, looking down at the ground. We said, thank you very much. We'll let you know. Go back to the office, and we say, hey, what about Jack Holler? Let's go to him, try to get the 75,000, and we'll give him 25% of the stock in the business. We went to Jack, and he said, guys, you know what? I'm going to give you the 75. I don't want the stock. Someday you're going to be very successful, and you're going to regret that you gave me the stock. So I don't want the stock. It was an unbelievable thing that he did for us. We named our Salesperson of the Year award after Jack for doing that for us. But the lesson there was to always be prepared for the unexpected. We walked into that client's office knowing he was going to give us the 75, never thought he was going to want half the business. But you have to be prepared for things that you might not expect. Lesson number 9, elevators. What you have to remember about the service business is that your assets go up and down those elevators every day, and that your staff and your reputation are the 2 most valuable assets that you have. So always, whenever you are faced with a dilemma and wonder what the right path is, always do the right thing. It might be the toughest, it might not make you money right away, but if you keep your reputation in mind, it will always come back to you. And once you lose that reputation, it's nearly impossible to get it back. So realizing that your people and your reputation are the most important things in the world is a tremendous lesson that we learn. Lesson number 10, I will follow the rules. It's very important that the rules of any organization apply to everybody equally. No special deals for anyone. We had our territory system, and the rules that even Paul and I played by were the same exact rules that somebody they were at the company on their first day on the job, they had the same protection, the same rights, the same everything. That worked very, very well for us. It kept disputes between salespeople almost non-existent, and it was because the system was a level playing field for everybody. Lessons 11 and 12 kind of go hand in hand. You have to differentiate yourself. You need to differentiate yourself from the thousands of other people that do what you do. And lesson 12 is to create a competitive advantage. Our territory system created a competitive advantage, or saying we only did sales in a certain area, only represented sellers. It was something that really gave us an advantage and got us up the learning curve a lot faster than we might have otherwise.